We are getting excited for baseball season here. Pitchers and catchers report this week. Both the Yankees and the Mets hoping their seasons this year, let's just say, are a bit better than last. You can see the numbers there. The Mets under 500, the Yankees on the right side of 500, but just barely. Safe to say, not very good season. So we wanted to talk with someone who knows all about winning here in New York. Number 13, Alex Rodriguez. He needs no introduction. Arod, thank you so much for being here. Before we get into all of that, let's talk about a new initiative that you're taking part of and helping to raise awareness about.
Yeah, last year, Steph, I found out that I had gum disease, which was very scary when you hear it for the first time. But what was great about it is I get to be disciplined. I get to go see my dentist now every 3 months. I treat it. And one thing that's important is to know, if you look at all the people in the world over the age of 30, right, about 50% of the people have some type of gum disease. So information is powerful. If you need to go out, go to treatgumdisease.com, get all the information you need, but be proactive. Get off your couch. Brush, floss. You can't floss or brush away a disease, but you can definitely treat it and manage it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk some baseball now. We're about to enter, season 2 of this new era of baseball. We saw so many changes to the game last year. The pitch clock, of course, the big one, also limiting the infield shift. What did you like about the rule changes? What do you think needs to be adjusted a little bit?
Everything. I think, baseball's doing fantastic under the leadership of Rob Manfred, our commissioner. I think the moves were very aggressive. They were proactive, but they had conviction with it, and it was a grand slam. It was beyond a home run. We had about over 100 games over 3.5 hours. Last year, we only had 9. So the game is better, better for the fans, and it's just a better product.
And I think even the old school people, who were very hesitant going into the season, ended up very quickly adjusting and thinking, hey, this really is good for the game.
Listen, we as an industry, you see what the NFL is doing, the NBA, soccer, pickleball, there's so much competition today. We need to continue as an industry to be aggressive, push the envelope, and some things are not going to work out, and some things are like last year, but we have to encourage the league to continue to take measures to push the envelope.
Yeah, I gotta say it's been really fun to watch your transition to the broadcast booth. What would Yankees third baseman Alex Rodriguez say if he knew that you, Jeter, Papi, and Pedro were the future broadcast team?
It's crazy. I never thought about it. I know Derek and Papi, I've talked to them offline, they never thought for 1 minute that we would be doing television. There we are. And we have a great quarterback in Kevin Burkhardt, who's the lead anchor for the football games for Fox on Sunday, has done a couple Super Bowls, and he just does a terrific job of letting us all really advocate for baseball and communicate to the fans in October when it counts most.
Would you say that broadcasting has made it easier to transition out of your playing days?
I think so, because I love the game of baseball so much. Like I often said, is my first love. I played for almost 25 years, and to be a world champion here in New York City is just absolutely incredible. There's not a day that goes by that I don't come to New York where somebody's thanking me for being part of that '09 season, and we need to bring the glory days back to the pinstripes and bring the championship, the title, back to the Bronx. Well,
that brings me to the Yankees. Obviously, they, struggled offensively last year in the bottom third of offense, but they did add a few bats. Juan Soto, obviously huge, Alex Verdugo as well. To have Soto and Judge hitting back-to-back in the lineup, what do you think those bats add to this lineup, and is it enough?
Well, I think offensively it can be enough. Health is paramount. You got to make sure that Judge stays healthy, and obviously Soto and Verdugo. What I do like is I have more balance in the lineup. I like more lefties bats, conducive for Yankee Stadium with the short porch. But my one concern for the New York Yankees right now continues to be an all-or-nothing approach, and do they have enough pitching with Garrett Cole and then kind of a group behind that we're not really familiar with?
Well, that's what I want to talk to you next about, is the rotation, right? Because last year at this time, we were sitting here saying the Yankees and the Mets had, if not the two of the best rotations. Obviously, injuries, crumbled the Yankees rotation and the Mets rotation pretty early on. Is the rotation enough for both teams as it is right now?
As it sits right here in February, I think the answer is no. But you have Steve Cohen and you have Brian Cashman, who will be looking at moves throughout the year, really appraising where they are and adding. I do not think, as we speak today in February, with spring training coming next week, that they have enough pitching to reach their goals.
You mentioned Garrett Cole. He had such an outstanding season. Does he have another Cy Young season in him? How hard is it to repeat a season like that?
Well, I don't know if he has another Cy Young. I think there's another Cy Young in his career. To say back-to-back, that would be very challenging. But I think Garrett Cole has been incredible, and I do think that his best days are still ahead of him because he's hardworking, he's smart, he loves New York City. One of the things, Steph, in order to play in New York, you have to love New York City, you have to embrace it. These are the smartest fan base, they're passionate, you get 3 million people to watch you at home, but you have to want to be in the kitchen because it's hot.
Yeah, 15 years is a century in New York.
Yes,
Especially for Yankees fans. Okay, let's talk Mets a little. Obviously, they're in a different state, kind of a transition year. Are you thinking more for them this season?
Well, I do, and I think Steve Cohen has been clear about that his target is more 25 or 26. They brought in a great president, GM from the Milwaukee Brewers. I do think the Mets are in great hands because Steve Cohen will do whatever it takes to bring a title to the Queens, and he's all in. I mean, he's a lifelong Mets fan. He's at every game. I can tell you from a player's point of view, to have an owner sitting there that is as passionate, if not more passionate than the coach and the players, it means the world, and the fan base appreciates it.
And he hasn't just talked it, he's walked the walk. You know, he's made it clear that he's willing to go all in. But I want to get your take on this, Alex. If you hear your owner say, which he has said, you know, we're kind of punting 2024, this more of a redevelopmental year, rebuilding toward 2025 and beyond. If you're a player who's at, say, the peak of your game, like Pete Alonso, how do you emotionally approach a season like that, knowing that maybe the postseason isn't the priority this season? Well,
not all messages are created equal, and it's depending who the messenger is. A guy like Steve Cohen, who's the richest owner in baseball and one of the richest owners in sports, when he says rebuild, it's meaning, hey, I want to win a title in 26, 27. This year, we're going to bridge to that goal, but I'm going to spend hundreds and hundreds, if not billions of dollars of resources to bring a title to Queens. So I like the message. No message is worse than a message that you may not like. You want to know where you stand at all times, and Steve Cohen has done that.
He sure has. Alex, it was so good to have you in studio. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Steph.